Certainly if the Australian public react like the public do in America, we are on the sure thing.
Most people don't know this, but at one time, there were captive orca in Australia, and it was a massive failure. In 1965, Shamu would make her debut at SeaWorld San Diego, skyrocketing the park to international fame. In the coming years, parks from around the world would try to cash in on the success the orca brought, and in April of 1969, two young southern resident killer whales would be caught in Carr Inlet, Washington, and sent to Seattle Marine Aquarium. The smaller orca, a juvenile female estimated to be around 5 years old, would die with no fanfare, and no date or cause of death would ever be released, nor would she ever receive a name. The larger orca, a male estimated to be around 9 years old, would be given the name Ramu II and sold to Marineland of Australia. Ramu's journey from Washington to Australia was going to be a long and arduous one. From what I can tell, the first step was towing Ramu from Seattle to San Francisco in a floating pen. While Ramu was recovering his strength and prepping for the next part of his journey, his trainer was attempting to force feed him fish when Ramu hit the trainer with his tail flukes, knocking the trainer's front teeth out. Then in March of 1970, Ramu would be placed in a sling and hung inside a water tank. He was loaded onto a cargo plane where he would spend the next 15 to 30 hours. This was the longest flight an orca had ever taken. From here, he was offloaded and trucked to his new home, Marineland of Australia. When he arrived, he had cuts on his body caused by the sling that he traveled in and was placed into a small tank with a dolphin for company. Initially, when he arrived, all seemed to be going well for Ramu, and he even began eating. But it didn't take long for the Australian heat to start negatively impacting Ramu's health. To keep their investment healthy, the park would partially drain Ramu's pool and pump him full of antibiotics. But their efforts were futile, and in May of 1970, 2 months after his arrival, Ramu would pass away from bleeding gastric ulcers, a condition often caused or worsened by stress. All told, Ramu, who was caught as a healthy young orca, would take the longest flight an orca had ever taken and would become the first captive killer whale in Australia, ultimately to pass away a little over a year after his capture.